Good morning, students. Hope you are all fine. Today we will study about steps involved in production of wool. There are 7 steps. First one is shearing. Let's see. In shearing, it is a process in which fleece of the sheep is removed. This process is called as shearing. That means we are removing fleece, or that means hair of the sheep is removed. This process is called as shearing. Second process is covering. It means a process in which the sheared fleece is treated to remove dust, dirt and grease. That means here we have already removed the fleece from the sheep. Okay, then this removed fleece, what we are doing with that fleece, we are removing the dust, dirt and grease from that fleece. Okay, so scouring means from the sheared fleece we are removing dust, dirt and grease. Third is sorting. Sorting means we are separating hairs of different textures. Fourth is grading. In grading, we are grouping the woolen fiber based on the length, fineness, color and texture. And the next step is dyeing. In dyeing, we are usually, what we are doing, we are taking the fleece and dyeing it in different colors. Okay, so fleeces are dyed in different colors. And the next process is carding and spinning. Carding means we are combing and straightening that fibers. In spinning, we are twisting that fibers so that we can make a yarn. And the seventh and the last process is weaving and knitting. So in weaving, shorter fibers are used and there are 2 or more yarns, whereas in knitting, longer fibers are used and there is only one single yarn. And the next topic is occupational hazards. Occupational hazards of woolen industry. Occupational hazard is any risk of injury, disease or health problem that a worker in an industry may face. That means any disease or any health problem that is faced by a worker in an industry is called as occupational hazard. That means from any occupation, what are the diseases that are coming in a worker or that comes in a worker, that is called as occupational hazard. For example, anthrax disease. It is also called as Sotter's disease. And the second is, while we are using different types of dyes and chemicals in the woolen industry, the workers may have allergy, skin infection, respiratory disease and eye irritation. Next we have to study about silk. You all must have seen silk. Silk is lustrous. Lustrous means very much shining, then strong, flexible and lightweighted. So we are using it to make different dresses. And students, you know which is the largest producer of silk? It is China, and second largest is India. So let's look into the different varieties of silk. There are mainly 5 varieties. First one is mulberry silk, second is tessa silk, third is kosa, fourth is muga and last is eri silk. Okay. So in the first column we have to study the particular silk is obtained from which silkworm. Okay, so first we can see mulberry silk. It is obtained from Bombyx mori. Tessa silk is obtained from Anthrea mylitta. Kosa is obtained from the same Anthrea mylitta. Muga is obtained from Anthrea asamianis and eri is obtained from Philosominia ricini. And the second point is what they eat. Okay, so the mulberry silk eats mulberry leaves. Tessa silk, Arjun and Asan trees, whereas Kosa, these are found in Arjun tree, Muga in Som plants and eri in castor plants. So these are some of the special characters of these silkworms or the silk, that is mulberry silk, tessa silk, Kosa, Muga and eri. Next we have to study what is sericulture. Sericulture means rearing of silkworms for obtaining or for production of silk. So let's see what are the steps in sericulture. First is we have to collect the eggs, that is from female silk, and we have to keep it under suitable temperature and humidity. And the second point is After the eggs are hatched, that means the hatched silkworms are placed in very clean bamboo trays, and in bamboo trays we are providing them with mulberry leaves, and it must be fresh. And the third point is, after 20 or 30 days we have to, up to that days, or up to 25 or 30 days, we have to feed them with mulberry leaves. Okay, and then what happens? Silkworms grow. And the next point is, when they are mature, then they will automatically stop eating. So silkworms will not eat and they will spin cocoons. Okay, and the silk moths will develop inside the cocoons. Next we have to see processing of silk from cocoons. First, these cocoons are separated on the basis of color, shape, size and texture. After that, these are exposed either to steam, heated in oven or boiled in water. If we are boiling water, we call them as degumming process. And here there is a term, that is sericin. It is a natural gum that holds silk fibers together. Okay, so next process is reeling. In this process, cocoons are taken out from the water and hence the silk fibers are extracted. The last process is, these silk are dyed in different colors. So here also there are some occupational hazards. So let's see what are they. First one is, if we are not wearing gloves, if the workers are not wearing their gloves, what will happen? As they are coming in contact with boiling water, what will happen? Their skin will peel off and hence they will cause skin infections. And due to the chemicals, vapors and fumes, what will happen? There will be eye irritation, skin irritation and there will be respiratory problems. Now we have to study the last portion, that is life cycle of a silk moth. So what happens? There are 4 stages. First one is egg stage, second one is larval stage, third is pupal stage and the last one is adult stage. Let's look into the first stage, that is egg stage. Here what happens? Female silk moth will lay many eggs on the mulberry leaves. Then what will happen? It will hatch up to 7 to 14 days. And next comes the second stage, that is larva stage. So here what will happen? The previously laid eggs, so it will be hatched and it will convert into larvae or caterpillar. So it will feed on mulberry leaves and then grow up to 3 to 4 weeks. Then what will happen? Then there will be a process called molting. That is, what will happen during this process? In molting process, the caterpillar will shed its skin 4 times. Okay, and it grows bigger in size, and so this process is called as molting. And next we can see pupal stage. Here what happens? Caterpillar matures. And as it matures, what will happen? It will stop eating or it will stop feeding and then it will convert it into pupa. Then what will happen? Then the pupa will spin silk fiber, that is called as cocoon. And the last stage is adult stage. Here what will happen? Here the pupa will continue to develop inside the cocoon up to or about 15 days and finally it will grow into a moth. So this is the life cycle of a silk moth. So you have to do the question answers of this chapter as well as the first chapter, that is nutrition in plants, as your summer vacation or holiday homework. Okay, thank you.